Hey y'all, Eat Factually here. How you doing today? Got to go through the whole garden with you today. I'm going to try and keep it under 10 minutes, so stick with me. It's going to be a great video. The theme of this video is second chance of life at your garden. So no matter what you're doing, what you got going, if you messed up or if things just aren't producing, rip them out and start fresh. And I'll show you what I did here to do that on some things that I did well, are still going great. Things I didn't do well, I ripped out and started new. All right, let's look at our crop first. So the beans are coming in bushels now. They were slow. Again, I talked about how it's about 3 weeks behind. Now they're coming in great. Every kind of tomato you can think of. It's starting to get humid in here, so they're sweating a little bit. All different kinds of peppers. There's bell peppers, jalapeno, banana peppers, ghost peppers, cherry peppers, serrano, poblano. There's a sriracha pepper, banana pepper, and hot Hungarian wax pepper. And I think I said jalapeno. Jalapenos there too. Awesome stuff. So excited about that. That, again, I was nervous, jumped the gun a little bit, maybe thought I didn't produce, I wasn't doing something right, but it was just the season. Something was going on with our weather here in PA. But again, we've got a second planting, so I ripped a bunch of stuff up. I'll show you that, replanted, and I'm trying some new things. So good stuff here. Let's look at our potato plants. So first time doing potatoes, they did okay, 4 to 5 potatoes, nothing great. I'm gonna keep learning on how to do that better. Great tomato plants here. Now these always come up wild. Every year I get these yellow grape tomatoes that come up wild, and I usually get 2 of them, and they're doing great, and some nice cherry tomatoes. Now listen, if you're a beginning gardener, there's a couple plants, and maybe I'll do a video on it, but one plant that if you want to grow to give you confidence that'll grow no matter what, if you prune it or don't prune it, if you water it or don't water it, is grape or cherry tomatoes. They will just produce for you and give you enough to have fun with and put in your salads and even make salsa with. So give that a shot. All right, back here is where the cucumbers didn't do great. I've got these actually cucumbers came up from the wild, from the previous ones, so I'm gonna hopefully give that a shot. I'm trying a pepper plant back here. This is the area where my zucchini plants died. Just didn't produce anything, so I'm gonna see if pepper plant works here. If this thing does well, I might do my peppers over in this corner next year. Nice cantaloupe coming up. Some of my wild tomato plants that are still producing. Looking good. Look at this squash plant. I wanna show you this root system. There's the beginning root of this squash plant that I planted in the spring. Look, let's follow this thing all around. It's like a roller coaster. That's insane. Still going, goes underneath there, comes up around, and there's 3 squash waiting for me. This plant's produced about 20 squash on it, so that's great. Here's a row that just had cantaloupe and carrots in it that just wasn't doing well, so I said forget it. Pulled up. Oh, got a shot on my shoe. Okay, there's one thing you don't do. Don't wear white socks with blue shoes. Look how horrible that looks. I apologize for that outfit choice. Now I've got beets in all this row. Here is some leeks. Doing great. So I want to remind you too, depending on where your sun is, if you're going to plant in stages, which I recommend for beets, scallions, onions, corn, things like that. You don't want to plant them all at once and then just have this big, huge crop that all comes at once, and you waste some of it because you just can't eat it fast enough. So make sure wherever the sun is, you plant farthest back. So where the sun's going to hit, you plant first, so that as it grows, you then can plant the new ones in front of it, and the bigger ones, as they grow bigger, will not block the sun from the other ones. So make sure when you're planting your garden, you take that into account. And that's what I did here with the leeks. So these are the leeks that were older, they've been pulled, and then these are the ones that I planted later that are soon ready here. Now this was that row of tomato plants that the seeds spilled in the topsoil. I didn't take care of them very well. I didn't tie them up great, and they ended up growing horizontally to the ground and over top of each other. I still got a ton of tomatoes from them, don't get me wrong, plenty, but I decided they were just dying, so I decided to pull them all up, and now I got white and Spanish onions on this. Here's a pepper plant I had to transplant. I'll tell you why that's drooping a little bit here. Lettuce. I've got some wonderful broccoli coming up. Look at this broccoli here. Still producing. Here's where I cut a broccoli plant back too close. So you got to be careful when you trim that top head off, the growth head, because it will leave the inside exposed, and water will get in there and it'll just start to degenerate and kill the whole plant. I've got the wild corn coming up. Did not plant this. I think there's 3 of them. I'm going to be curious to see if they actually get to a point where I can eat those, along with some wild green beans that are coming up. I'm going to let those go. I did put some feather meal and alfalfa meal down. So if you see some of that on the plants, that's not any kind of disease. That's just I sprinkled it over top in hopes the rain would wash it down in. Our wild pepper plants doing great. Here I planted those pepper plants about 3-4 weeks ago. They're now coming up. They'll start producing here probably late September, October. All my pepper plants decided to grow really tall this year, but they're now producing. Here's lettuce. I'm going to cut that lettuce back today, leaf lettuce. Now I had to transplant some of this lettuce, and I had to do it because of my timing in my life. I had to do it in the hotter part of the day, and that's why you see these drooping like this. When you transplant something in the hot sun, they just don't have the energy to beat the sun and keep themselves upright. So you will lose a couple like this one here. I may lose that one, but a lot of these other ones, I'm still gonna be okay. If you heavily water them and make sure you pull the leaf out of the mud, they'll survive. Look at this rain. That's just a random tomato plant coming up in August. Okay, I'll let you go, buddy. See what you do. Some more spinach and leaf lettuce and Swiss chard. Some more wild pepper plants. Now look at this thing. I gotta show you this. This is my ghost pepper plant. Now to give you an idea, this is about 5 foot in diameter. This thing is gigantic. Look at how many you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That's just half the plant. This thing is huge. So I did this right. Now the ghost pepper plants grow big anyway, even if you don't do what I did, but I actually got this one. I think I nailed this one as far as pulling the crop when I had to produce a third stage crop that's now ginormous. So the first crop I got was about 8 ghost pepper plants. Cut them off no matter what size or what ripeness. I just cut them all off. The next one produced about 18, I think. And now this one's got close to 80. I'm telling you, 80 ghost peppers on this. It actually grew over top of another banana pepper plant, and it's still producing, but it's not producing as well as it could because this thing just got too huge. So can't wait to make some ghost pepper jam on that one. All right, this is another row of those Roma tomatoes. The same thing happened. There's so many of them. I didn't tie them up great. They fell over on each other. They produced a great, but I had to pull them. Here you'll see this nice little, those are my shoe prints, and that's my puppy's shoe prints. Yes, I still haven't trained him to stay out of the garden, and he's stepping through and killing some of my plants, but oh well, that's life. I'll get him trained. Here's another area, if you remember from other videos, where it's between high tomato plants and high green beans, not getting a lot of sun. So I yanked all that stuff out, except that's why this pepper plant grew so high. Look how tall that thing is. I mean, that's 4.5 feet tall. But I've got 6 watermelon plants coming in now that I hope I'm going to produce for the fall. There's one down there. This is the set of green bean plants that are kind of an archway. I set up 2 different gates, and now they grew over top of each other. The dog loves to run through there. But you can see there's still green beans coming and looking great. We pruned it all back. And again, that's feather meal and alfalfa meal on it. Here's broccoli. These all came up from the wild, from the broccoli that I had already there. Again, I had to do this in the hot sun, so you see them drooping a little bit, but as long as you keep one strong leaf, see this one strong stalk there? So you keep one of those, this thing will survive, and sometimes I prop it up and help it stay upright. But they should survive. Again, this one has a nice strong stalk there. You can trim off this plant, this leaf, so it's not holding it back and dragging in the dirt. It'll come up. They should survive. So they all came up in the wild. Here is blackberry bush. This is where my corn was, and my corn did perfectly fine. First time growing corn, first time growing sprouts. Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and cabbage. But now this is all carrots back here, and again, you saw the dog got into it a little bit. So, but it shouldn't hurt it. Another great set of tomatoes growing. My sprouts that did nothing. My raspberry bush still producing great, and that should produce through the fall here. And we're getting about 15-20 raspberries a day. More green beans. Tell we love our green beans. Look at this though. Look how many green beans are coming off of that. That is beautiful. Loving that. Again, I pruned these back a little bit. These probably could use a little bit more pruning here. I'll get to them probably later today or tomorrow. I had to move these carrot plants because that green bean plant grew over top of some carrot plants that I had here. I had to transplant them again in the hot sun. You can see that they're having some trouble here. I'm hoping they survive. This one looks like it could have a good chance. This one's looking droopy, but they may survive here. We'll see. Beets back there. More blackberry bush that'll come up next spring. Another raspberry bush getting some nice produce on it. There's that late June planted tomato plant, and I'm getting some good stuff off of there. Another wild pepper plant that came up. Look at all that basil. That's beautiful. Awesome stuff. Carrots. Now, I did something wrong with these. This is a fennel. I planted about 15 of them. I got 4. The reason why I'm leaving the weeds in there, just in case there's some late bloomers coming up, I think at this point probably not. But I'm not really sure what I did wrong there. I'm going to have to look into that. This is my Land of Misfit crops here. I'm trying to plant bigger, wider rows and more space in between. So plant the plants, or get the plants in tighter within themselves, but more room in between the next set of plants. This is going to be all different types of leaf lettuce and spinach. This is cabbage and cauliflower. And this is more sprouts. I'm trying sprouts over here. I have some still, see how they do in the cold weather over there, but I'm going to try new sprouts here. I got another ghost pepper plant here, as well as a hot cherry pepper. Random wild pepper that came up. I don't know what this is, and it's not producing yet. Some strawberries on the ground there. And here's a hot Hungarian wax pepper, and the sriracha pepper plant's doing well. New cucumber plants that I planted. I'm going to try and pull these up. Here's a big ghost pepper. This was part of the ghost pepper plant, and the dog knocked it off, but some of those will turn indoors. They're big enough, if I take them indoors, they'll ripen. So I can say that he knocked off that whole branch, otherwise there'd probably be 90 to 100. And my heirloom tomatoes, still doing great back there. Here's another bell pepper. And there you go, I got some bell peppers coming there. This is my habanada plant. I got some coming here, but I've only gotten 2 off of this habanada plant. So I'm hoping, now these I did plant late, but I'm gonna pick these pretty quickly and see if I can get that to do the same thing that other one did. The nana penas, I've only gotten 2 off of, and I don't see other flowers. This is my first time growing it. It did go in late. I wonder if it's just not gonna make it here. I don't see any other flowers. Well, there's one. We'll see. Let's see, and then mild cherry pepper there as well. So that's it. That's it. Doing great. It's a good season so far. I've learned a lot, planted some new stuff, tried some new things. And again, my second life of garden, I'm gonna try other things as well and see what works best for my area and my garden. I know that I need better soil in the spring. I didn't start off with great nutrients. I think that's why some of it struggled. I have a blueberry plant that died, a tree that died, a bush that died, but one survived. But all in all, great season. I got a lot of stuff coming, so stay with me. I'm gonna go through this whole fall with you, and we're gonna have some fun, all right? All right, have a good one. See ya.